All right, what's up, people? We just wanted to let you guys know that we have all these new bars. There's fancy new bars at the gym. You'll see them. Guys bars, we've got 12 brand new bars we got traded out. And so someone brought it to my attention that we should probably do a little tutorial on a little bar do's and don'ts. So threw the camera on the tripod and gonna get through it. All right, first thing we want to talk about, can you see this edge? We'll use this edge. First thing we want to talk about is removing weights from the bar. One of the most common things I see is even on the concrete surface, but especially black surface concrete, doesn't matter which, when removing weights, what we never want to see is you remove the weight and just let the bar slam into the floor. Don't do that. One of the other things I see a lot of is I see folks either waiting on a workout to begin or a workout's over with, and I might see somebody sit down on the bar, putting their weight on the bar. You know, as strong as the bars are, prolonged doing this to the bar can actually damage the bar. I've seen bars from people doing this fun thing, you know, jumping up and down on the bar. Don't do that. One of the other things we see a lot of is we see folks who maybe it's a lack of mobility, and we need to address that, or it could be that, you know, you're just being lazy or whatever. We see folks when they're doing something with just the bar. I got this cord in the way. We see people doing something just with the bar, and they're putting the bar down instead of placing the bar on the ground. We'll see them bring it to about here, and don't do that. Another really fun thing we see is when folks are putting their barbells back in the racks. You know, I don't mind seeing people, you know, put the bar in the back and drop the bar down. But one of the things that I've seen folks do is normally with inexperienced folks is we see folks take the bar from this overhead position and then they try to bring the bar back down onto the, you damage the bar, you damage the J hooks, bend the hooks, bend the rack, bend the bar. Don't do that. And finally, yeah, no kidding, you shouldn't do that with a bar kind of thing, but you know, we have seen it before. Someone taking the bar from the overhead position, just dropping it. Don't do that. One of the final bar etiquette things is how much weight should be on your bar when you're actually dropping it. So if we're taking it from an overhead position, and we're going to be dumping the bar down, how much weight should we have on the bar before that's an okay thing to do? The general rule is if you're looking at the plates, the thicker plates are the ones that are going to be okay to do that with, 45s, 35s, 25s. Once you get underneath those plates, the 15s and the 10s, and then obviously any of the steel ones, you really don't need to be dropping that from overhead. A lot of the ladies will put like 2 10s on it, and because it's two 10s, then it should be okay. That's not really okay still, because those plates are not really meant to be dropped. I know they're called bumpers, but that's not really the case with those smaller plates. So we're looking for, if you have at least a 25-pound plate on each side of the bar, then it's really okay to bring it down from overhead and let it hit the stall mats. Okay. If you have 15s on the bar, even multiple 15s, I'm going to say if you have multiple 15s or multiple 10s, you need to trade those out for the thicker plates once you get to a weight that allows you to do so. So if I have a 15 on the bar and then I put a 10 on the bar, even though that is the same weight as a 25, that is not the same thing as a 25, because you still have 2 thin plates being dropped. If you have the thicker plate, it's going to hold up a whole lot better than the thin plates. Thanks. We want to talk about the knurling on the brand new bars. Those brand new bars have a pretty vicious knurling. We call it aggressive, actually. Have a pretty aggressive knurling. It has a great grip on your hands. It is, with the brand new bars, they are just the slightest bit, have like a little bit of an oily feel to them, and that's fine. So you might be using chalk. One of the things I would recommend, just to try to keep from making a big giant mess that's a pain in the butt to clean up, if you're going to chalk your hands, you chalk over the bucket, not up here. Don't be that guy. Yeah, chalk and dust flying everywhere. Don't be that guy. Chalk your hands. This is how you're going to chalk your hands. You're just going to rub a little chalk on your hand. about like that. Rub a little chalk on the other hand, about like that. Rub the two pieces together, you're good to go, okay? That's about how much chalk you need. If you have more than chalk than that, you're gonna create a paste. The paste does not help you lift, makes it harder to hold onto the bar. Plus, that paste is then gonna get in the knurling of the bar. Once that paste from the chalk gets in the knurling of the bar, it actually becomes harder and harder to get that paste out, and then it becomes harder and harder to grip the bar. So the whole point of adding chalk is to keep your hands dry so that you can maintain a grip on the bar. If you keep putting a paste on there, it actually is counterproductive. So it will become increasingly more difficult to actually keep a grip on the bar because of that paste that's created. One of the last pieces of maintenance, we just talked about how much chalk to put on your hands, and if you put too much, it creates a paste. Same thing is true. If you start pasting up the knurling, putting a ton of chalk on the knurling so that the knurling is completely covered in chalk, and one of the things you start running into is you're going to create that exact paste that we were just talking about. And though it might feel like it's dry at first, as soon as you start sweating in that paste, that bar is going to become slicker and slicker. You're going to keep having to do that. So not only are you going to put all that chalk in the knurling, then you're going to have to be chalking your hands too to try to maintain grip, and it's counterproductive. Okay, so chalk your hands, just a dusting on the hands. Look at that, chalk's still on my hands. Okay, you don't need to chalk the bar, chalk your hands. The bar doesn't sweat. All right, lastly, we want to talk about how to put these bars away. New bars have those bushings and bearings in the ends of them. So one of the things that I often see is folks, you're in a hurry. I know, I get it. You're in a hurry. You're trying to get out of here. So you get in that first hole, kind of drop it down in the rack, or you just down in there. One of the things that this actually does to the bar is it could potentially damage the bushings in it, make it not spin as well. One of the other things that you're not thinking about is you could be damaging the actual bar holder. If this thing breaks, then none of the bars get held. So one of the things we want to make sure you guys can do is just control the bar. You can get the bar in, find that bottom, and just sit it there. Okay, you don't necessarily have to resist it all the way down, but just make sure it's not slamming into the bottom. That'll prolong the life of the bars, prolong the life of the holders, and keep us all a lot happier. So hopefully you guys learned something about maintaining the bars, keeping the bars maintained and in a good working condition. That way they last a long time, and we can have years and years of fun with them. Till next time, see you guys.